Hi guys, I'm Zach from Nerdworks Media, and in today's video, I'm gonna wash my car. So yeah, in short, I have an autocross event today, but first I very much need to wash my car. It's really dirty, and we'll just pretend that it being shiny and stuff will give it better aerodynamics. 100% for sure. I'll see you guys when we catch up with Jared. Ooh, we haven't seen him in a while.
Eventually.
Okay, we are now finally at said race day. As we can see, Miata's parked up and we have Jared no longer in the MX-5 because Jared has since given his MX-5 to Josh, yes, and now he's got a FE swapped Mazda 323. Naturally aspirated FE, but still. Anyway, the track is still very quiet, which is mildly concerning, but I guess also not concerning because it means more track time for me. Anyway, I will show you guys the track layout now, but interestingly enough, I think there's different categories. So you've got a rear-wheel drive category, front-wheel drive category, and all-wheel drive category. And unfortunately, this is where things start to take a bit of a twist because I'm going to be racing this. Yeah, this is now in my category. This was actually at the Zwartkopies race day that I went to earlier this year. And it was a full-on monster drift car yeah. So this is great. And now I'm racing this. Fun. Anyway, I'll catch you guys up when we actually get on track and stuff. I'm going to go prep my car, double check fluids and such. And yeah, there we go.
2 hours later.
Okay, well, whilst we're waiting for the actual event to start and stuff, we're going to have Jared do a little bit of a run-through of his car for us. So firstly, we've moved locations because that side was a little bit in the sun, and I don't feel like being in the sun. But yeah, let's show off Jared's car here for a second. So first things first, as I did state earlier, it is a Mazda 323. However, if Jared will now open up for us, when he finds the hood light, we can see it's got an FE swap, a 2-liter FE. So now, usually the FEs are turbo, yes?
No. Yeah, no, they all came in normally aspirated, but people like to turbo them.
Oh, okay. I thought they were turbo variants. Oh, okay. Learn something new every day.
I think they are turbo variants, but like the stock, I mean the NA ones, you could turbo them pretty easily from what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is done to the car here, Jared?
Coilovers.
Oh, yeah, check at that. That's actually mint.
Yeah. Big radiator.
Headers have been wrapped.
Headers, exhausts.
Intake.
Intake. Yeah, intake.
Alright. Yeah, I see you're literally on the same tires as me. Same tire and rim size setup. Obviously different rims themselves, but yeah.
No, it's just different rims and that, so yeah. Bright bucket seats.
Are they genuine brides?
I think so. I mean, well, it has a low certificate that came with it.
Oh, that is dope.
Original Momo steering wheel.
That's also dope.
Yeah. And then, yeah, stripped interior.
Oh yeah, I can see that in the back.
So, yeah.
Also, I can see the strut in the back.
And then, yeah, SSR wheels, Apexy exhaust.
Little diffuser boy.
Diffuser from the previous person. Batteries mounted at the rear. And
Oh,
then also,
Jared, actually, you might give me a run for the money, actually. I didn't realize you had like a full stripped interior here.
yeah. And then, yeah, just more braces. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Do you know kind of power numbers? I understand that I mean, still naturally aspirated and stuff, so...
I mean, the engine the person put in here, the original owner, imported it from Japan,
Yeah.
but it also has cams in it. So,
Oh, interesting.
it's Mazda cams from another Mazda, but yeah, it could start from 109 kilowatts up to 125 kilowatts. So.
That's not half bad at all.
Yeah, pulls quite well. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and it's more or less the same weight as the NA, so.
Yeah. Yeah, damn. And unfortunately, that's where I kind of decided to call it. yeah, things started to go a little bit sideways, and I started to be a little bit uncomfortable, I want to say. So we landed up just leaving. It was a little bit of a waste of money, but I will run you guys through why and stuff. So first things first, I do want to just mention, this was the first event that these people were hosting, so there is a lot of leeway in terms of, like, you know, I understand where that there may be mistakes and so on and so forth, but let me run you through it. So we had to drive through, well, I had to drive about an hour and a half from here, so it was quite the drive, and I used a fair bit of petrol to get there. Then we landed up driving through some not so pleasant areas to just get there in the first place, which I wasn't too happy with. Then what was quite nerve-wracking is we literally had to drive up a dirt road up to a squatter camp just to get to the raceway, to the race course. Now, the potholes were terrible, and, you know, I had to literally angle the crap out of my car just to get over certain bumps and stuff, and I was still scraping just to get there. So I wasn't too happy with that, but, you know, we got to the race course and stuff. Then I'll admit that the race course itself wasn't in very good condition. The tar of the race course looked almost like it was a half rally track, at least on the outskirts of the track, because it was an oval track. I don't even know if I showed it, but it was an oval track. On the outskirts, it was a little bit rough. Again, though, I do understand first venue might be or first event that they were hosting may be the only thing that they could afford. So 100% that's fine. Unfortunately, it was right next to a squatter camp, which made me a little bit nerve-wracking to just leave my car open and, like, so on and so forth, but yeah. Another thing is they called for sign-in at 11, but then the event starts at 1 o'clock. So for those who actually, they called, cars can arrive at 10. So we got there super duper early and then sat and did nothing for like a super duper long time. And I got a little bit annoyed with that because, you know, if you're hosting your event earlier, then host it early and then the event can run later. Especially for us who are driving halfway around the country, almost, just to get there. So, otherwise, I will admit straight up, the people were very friendly. Everyone there at the event was quite friendly. There was one guy with a Saab that was a little bit about himself, but anyway, that's alright. That's a part of the car community. You get guys like that. Where I had issue next is finally the event started, so they called everyone up for the drivers meeting, which was cool, 100%. Now, I'm used to where they take you through the course on foot so that you can learn the course. Now, they didn't want to do that because basically what they were doing is, I think you got 6 different turns, or 6 different laps that you go do. However, 2 laps are the same, then the next 2 are on a different course, then the next 2 are on a different course. So you don't even get time to learn the course, which I find a bit redundant, because then it means that you're not learning the optimal line, you're not learning how your car behaves, you can't push it very hard. It's just there to set the best lap time because you should already know all of that. Which I kind of disagree, because some of us are still learning our cars. I will admit there were actual rally car drivers there, so they knew what they were doing, and that's cool, 100%. There was also, I think I showed the fully built drift car. That's also cool, 100%. They know the car, so they're going to do. The next issue that I had was also they didn't let me warm up the car. So I had to essentially, I guess, forfeit my first lap because I wanted to go out to the parking lot to go do some laps essentially there to go warm up my car. Because I'm not pushing my car all the way to red line, racing around and clutch dumping, if my car's not even at temperature, because I had just started it after it sat for a good 2-3 hours. So I was a bit upset with that. But it, you know, okay, moving on. Then, basically the course was, I swear to you, maybe the size of my dad's shop. It was tiny. It was a tiny little box with little cones and stuff. So when you, firstly, when you get up to the start line, I'm busy looking over there at a tiny little blackboard that's literally no bigger than my face. And it's got some dots and some lines on it to show you which way you're supposed to go around the course. I couldn't read it, and I'm feeling a little bit pressure now sitting at the start line on where to go. So I was a bit upset with that as well. At this point, you can imagine I'm getting quite upset and quite irritated with the entire dynamic of how they're hosting it. So I did my course. I don't know if it was the correct course or not. However, watching the previous couple people go, they're clutch kicking the crap out of their cars. Now, I just paid, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I just paid $5,000 for the new clutch and the pulling the gearbox and the whole shebang. I kind of don't want to, now go fuck up my brand new clutch because I'm clutch kicking every 3 seconds. Also, Callum told me before I went to the event, my car's making too much power now for the gearbox and diff. It's fine to drive it, but don't just dump the clutch. Don't clutch dump, don't clutch kick. It's too much of a shock to the diff and the gearbox. It is going to break something. So I very quickly was like, okay, I can't do this. And then the course was too tight to the point that my car was just understeering. So I was a little bit upset because what they made was a drift course. That's not an Auto Gymkhana. Auto Gymkhana entails drifting, if need be, but there is always the option to just turn around it. It's more about the darty suspension or suspension work in my opinion. It should be about darty steering and grip. To be honest, is in my personal preference of Auto Gymkhana. I know that there are videos on the internet of guys who drift the course. Drifting is not the fastest way around the course. You, technically speaking, should just have, I guess, like really big angle, but you should steer it rather than drift it. You can hook it and try get the bum to ski out a little bit, but it's not a drift course. What these people were doing is just linking the entire course drifting. And there were a couple guys in Nissan 1400 Buckies that were like, literally, I counted in one corner the guy must have clutch dumped like 5 times in one corner. I think in the entire thing I was counting, it was like 20 times or something. And I was like, I cannot do that in my car. So I was a bit upset with that, but maybe they changed the course. But now I'm upset with the entire situation. Also, whilst we were waiting, sorry, I forgot to mention this, my girlfriend got a drink and some chips, and it was 50 Rand. And I was like, it's a bit expensive. They are overcharging there a little bit. So you can imagine at this point, I'm quite aggravated. Then, so I pull out because now I'm irritated. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's just fucking go. And now they're starting to bring everyone on for the second course. Now, at this point, I wasn't sure if I had technically forfeited my first lap on the first course, but now they've got people going on the second course, so I couldn't have done the second lap on the first course anyway. So at this point I was like, okay, you know what, fuck it, I'm leaving, I'm not interested. It's already 2 o'clock at that point. It was gonna start getting late, or I didn't really want to stay past 3, I guess, because I didn't really want to drive back when it's starting to get dark through said dodgy areas that I had to drive through in the first place. So I was like, no, screw this, I'm done. I was so irritated and stuff, and I was like, no, I'm done. So I didn't end up recording because I never record the first lap. I always leave the first lap open because the first lap is usually very boring. I go slowly so I can actually learn the course. Now, this course was pointless learning in the first place, and it was just, yeah. So eventually I just packed up and I left. I was like, I'm not interested. And I'm sorry if that comes off that I was a bit of a sore loser. I don't care if I lose the event. I cared for the fact that it wasn't an Auto Gymkhana. It was a drift course, in my opinion. Now, there were front wheel drive cars going, but they were literally doing burnouts and understeering the crap like I was. And I could see that they were getting irritated as well, but not as irritated because I guess they're just clutch dumping the shit out of their cars and they're having fun. I was not having fun because all I was doing was understeering, and I got maybe 2 seconds in total of being able to put my foot flat and then be in boost. Now, I understand boosted cars, turbo cars with lag are not necessarily the best at autocross, so I will take full responsibility there, but my meaning is, no, that was a drift course. What they wanted you to do was link the entire course. So that's a drift course. So I didn't even bother sticking around for the second thing, because also it's up against big concrete walls, and I was like, I'm not going to push on that course, because even one of the guys in a Subaru, an all-wheel drive car, he was saying for the rear-wheel drive car guys, don't take the corners too aggressively, because it's on a slight rise, you're going to understand clap into the wall. So it was already a sus situation, and now somebody's telling me that I will most likely plant it into a wall if I'm even minutely aggressive. So immediately then I was like, okay, no. So I left. So I'm sorry for the disappointing video, but as you guys have seen, and I've probably been overlaying footage of previous autocross events, there's a way to have autocross. That was definitely not it, in my opinion. That course was way too tight and was meant for drifting, which is 100%, and I understand autocross entails drifting, but that is a drift course, in my opinion. It's like a very tight and technical drift course. It's nothing to do with autocross, in my opinion. So sorry to disappoint. I was quite disappointed, and then wasted 300-400 rand in total buying into the events, and then also for all the petrol that I had to use. So I was quite upset, but it is what it is. It's done. You learn. I now know not to go to that kind of event, because it's not the style that suits me. It is the style that suits some people, 100%. They can go for it, but not for me. Thank you. So yeah, sorry for the disappointing video. Sorry that you guys didn't get to see anything too exciting. Is what it is. Until next time, guys. Cheers.